Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? That flicker of a distant star, the sudden streak of a meteor, what if these aren't just random cosmic events, but carefully crafted messages hidden in plain sight? For centuries, humanity has gazed at the heavens with a mix of awe and suspicion, wondering if the stars hold secrets far beyond our current understanding. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-bending questions in space exploration. Could interstellar events be more than mere chance? Could they be part of a grand, hidden code waiting to be cracked? From ancient civilizations who mapped the skies with uncanny precision to modern astronomers detecting bizarre anomalies that defy explanation, there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that the cosmos might be speaking to us if only we knew how to listen. Picture this, a pulsar emitting signals in a pattern so precise it resembles a mathematical equation, or a distant galaxy aligning in a way that mirrors sacred geometry found in Earth's oldest temples. These aren't just coincidences, they're breadcrumbs leading us down a rabbit hole of cosmic conspiracies. And that's exactly what we're exploring in this video. 35 of the most compelling, spine-tingling theories that suggest the universe is far stranger and far more intentional than we've been led to believe. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that blurs the line between science and speculation. We'll unravel ancient astronaut theories that hint at extraterrestrial visitors, decode modern-day anomalies that leave even the brightest minds scratching their heads, and piece together a tapestry of clues that could rewrite everything we know about our place in the cosmos. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the night sky the same way again, because once you see these hidden patterns, there's no unseeing them. The question is, are you ready to uncover the truth? That single burst of radio waves detected in 1977 remains one of the most tantalizing cosmic mysteries to this day. Known as the wow signal, it wasn't just its intensity that shocked researchers, it was the way it perfectly matched the frequency of hydrogen, the building block of the universe. Think about that for a second. If an advanced civilization wanted to send a signal across the cosmos, wouldn't they use the one frequency every intelligent species would recognize? The fact that it lasted exactly 72 seconds only deepens the intrigue. Was that duration intentional, like a cosmic handshake, or just a bizarre coincidence? Over the years, skeptics have tried to explain it away as a passing comet or a glitch in the equipment. But here's the catch: no known comet was in that region of space when the signal arrived. And if it were interference from Earth, why hasn't anything like it ever been detected again? The more you dig, the stranger it gets. Even the telescope's design makes it unlikely the signal came from our own planet. It was pointed toward the constellation Sagittarius, a region packed with stars and potentially civilizations. Then there's the eerie silence that followed. Despite countless searches, no repeat signal has ever been found. It's as if the universe whispered something profound and then vanished before we could ask what it meant. Some researchers suggest we might have missed the reply window, like picking up a phone call seconds before it ended. Others wonder if the signal was never meant for us at all, but merely passed through our detection range by chance. But what if the wow signal wasn't just a hello? What if it was part of something bigger? Ancient cultures often spoke of celestial messages, from the Dogon tribe's knowledge of Sirius to the Mayans tracking cosmic cycles with jaw-dropping accuracy. Could this signal be another piece of a puzzle we're only beginning to understand? The mystery endures, fueling debates and inspiring new generations of astronomers to scan the skies, hoping to catch another whisper from the stars. One thing's for sure, when it comes to cosmic conspiracies, the wow signal is just the beginning. Nature's love affair with patterns takes a mesmerizing turn when we look beyond our planet. The Fibonacci sequence, that elegant string of numbers where each one is the sum of the two before it shows up in the curve of a nautilus shell, the arrangement of sunflower seeds, even the branching of trees. But what if this mathematical signature isn't just an earthly quirk? What if it's woven into the very fabric of the cosmos? Take spiral galaxies, for instance. The Milky Way, with its sweeping arms and hypnotic swirl, mirrors the Fibonacci spiral with unsettling precision. Coincidence? Some researchers say no. They argue the odds of this pattern repeating across scales from tiny plants to colossal galaxies are too slim to dismiss as random chance. Ancient civilizations seem to recognize this cosmic blueprint long before modern telescopes. The Egyptians encoded the golden ratio, a close cousin of the Fibonacci sequence, into the proportions of the Great Pyramid. Hindu texts describe the universe as an infinite spiral, echoing the same mathematical harmony. Even Leonardo da Vinci, obsessed with the interplay of art and science, filled his notebooks with sketches of spiraling galaxies centuries before astronomers confirmed their existence. Were these visionaries tapping into a hidden truth, a universal language of design that transcends time and culture? Of course, skeptics have their own take. They point to gravity's role in shaping galaxies, suggesting the spiral structure is simply physics in action. And yet, the Fibonacci pattern isn't just about shape, it's about growth. The way galaxies expand, the way stars cluster along their arms, even the distribution of matter in the universe, it all seems to follow this numerical rhythm. Could gravity alone explain why distant galaxies light years apart conform to the same mathematical rule? Then there's the eerie case of Messier 74, a galaxy so perfectly spiral it's dubbed the pinwheel of the cosmos. Its arms unfurl at an angle of exactly 137.5 degrees, the golden angle, another Fibonacci hallmark. Astronomers can model galaxy formation down to the last detail, but no simulation accounts for why this number keeps appearing like a cosmic calling card. So where does that leave us with a universe that seems to whisper in numbers? Whether you see it as proof of a grand designer, an undiscovered law of physics, or just nature's favorite inside joke, one thing's clear: the Fibonacci sequence is more than a math lesson. It's a clue, a tantalizing hint that the cosmos might be playing by rules we're only beginning to decode. And if that's true, what other numerical secrets are waiting in the stars? High above our planet, hidden in the swirling dance of Earth's orbital debris, lurks one of space's most enduring mysteries, the Black Knight satellite. Stories of this enigmatic object first surfaced in the 1950s when amateur radio operators began picking up strange, repeating signals that seemed to come from nowhere. But the legend goes much deeper. Ancient astronaut theorists claim this isn't just some stray piece of space junk. It's an artificial object that's been circling our planet for an astonishing 13,000 years, silently watching humanity's rise from the shadows. The evidence at first glance is compelling. In 1998, Space Shuttle Endeavour captured images of a bizarre, angular object during a mission, a dark silhouette starkly different from the smooth curves of modern satellites. NASA dismissed it as a lost thermal blanket, but that explanation did little to satisfy conspiracy hunters. Why? Because reports of the Black Knight predate the space age by decades. As far back as the 1920s, pioneering scientists like Nikola Tesla claimed to have intercepted unidentifiable radio pulses while testing early wireless technology. Even more intriguing, these signals followed mathematical patterns that didn't match any known natural phenomena. Then there's the orbit itself. Unlike the predictable paths of man-made satellites, the black knight allegedly moves in ways that defy conventional physics, shifting angles, changing speeds, even appearing to respond to signals from Earth. Declassified documents from the Cold War era reference unidentified orbital objects with erratic trajectories, fueling speculation that governments have known about this anomaly for decades. One declassified memo from the U.S. Air Force even cryptically noted, "The object does not behave like any known satellite, but here's where the story takes a truly cosmic turn." Ancient cultures from the Sumerians to the Dogon spoke of celestial watchers, gods, or messengers who descended from the stars to observe humanity. Could the Black Knight be a remnant of such a presence? Some researchers point to its alleged orbit, which mirrors the path of the mythical Nibiru from Babylonian texts, as potential proof of an ancient extraterrestrial probe. Others suggest it might be a relay station, part of a larger network broadcasting information across the galaxy. Of course, skeptics have their own theories. Space is cluttered with defunct satellites, discarded rocket stages, and fragments from decades of exploration. The Black Knight, they argue, is likely just a piece of that debris, perhaps a forgotten Cold War-era spy satellite lost to history. But if that's the case, why do radio astronomers still occasionally detect uncanny bursts of data from its supposed location? And why do these signals sometimes contain snippets of coded information that eerily resemble prime number sequences, a universal calling card used in humanity's own attempts to contact extraterrestrial intelligence? The truth may remain just out of reach, but the Black Knight's legacy is undeniable. It challenges our assumptions about what's floating above us, and more importantly, who or what might have put it there. Whether it's an alien artifact or a case of cosmic mistaken identity, one thing is certain: the sky holds secrets we're only beginning to uncover. And sometimes the most profound mysteries aren't found in the distant stars, but right in our own celestial backyard. The surface of Mars holds countless mysteries, but few have sparked as much debate as the so-called Mars Monolith. Discovered in 2009 by NASA, a high-rise camera, this bizarre formation juts out from the rust-colored landscape like a misplaced skyscraper. What makes it so unsettling? Its razor-straight edges and near-perfect rectangular shape features that defy the chaotic, wind-sculpted terrain surrounding it. Geologists argue it could be a rare example of columnar basalt, a volcanic rock that sometimes fractures into geometric patterns. But here's the twist: the monolith casts a shadow so sharp, so precise, it looks like it was carved with tools rather than natural forces. This isn't an isolated case. Strange, angular structures have popped up across the solar system. On Phobos, Mars's misshapen moon, a similar monolith towers over the barren surface, captured in grainy images from early probes. Even Saturn's moon, Iapetus, a world known for its bizarre equatorial ridge, boasts a cluster of rectangular formations that gleam like polished stone. The odds of such geometric anomalies appearing independently on multiple celestial bodies. Astronomers admit it's statistically peculiar. Ancient astronaut theorists take it further. They point to Earth's own enigmatic monoliths, like the towering rocks of Nabta or the Baalbek megaliths, as evidence of a shared architectural language across the cosmos. Could these structures be markers left by an ancient spacefaring culture to guide future explorers? Some propose they're navigational beacons, aligning with celestial events or pointing toward distant star systems. Others suggest they're time capsules embedded with data waiting to be decoded. NASA, of course, remains skeptical. They attribute the Mars monolith to pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar shapes in random patterns. But even skeptics struggle to explain why these random formations consistently appear near sites of high geological interest, like dried-up riverbeds or volcanic plains. If they're just rocks, why do they cluster in areas that might have once harbored life? The controversy deepens when you consider the monolith's reflective properties. Infrared scans reveal it cools and heats at a different rate than surrounding rocks, hinting at an unusual composition. Could it be metallic, artificial, or merely a mineral oddity? Until we send a rover to scrape its surface, we're left with theories and a haunting question. If the universe is teeming with natural wonders, why do these structures feel so deliberately placed? Whether you see them as cosmic signposts or geological flukes, one thing's certain: they're rewriting the rules of what we thought possible on alien worlds. If the universe is trying to send us a message, it might be hiding in the oldest light we can see, the cosmic microwave background. This faint glow, left over from the Big Bang, paints the sky in whispers of heat from over 13 billion years ago. Scientists expected it to be a chaotic mosaic, a random scatter of hot and cold spots from the universe's violent birth. But when researchers mapped it in detail, something strange emerged. The patterns weren't just uneven, they were suspiciously organized. Some areas looked like ripples in a pond, with concentric circles stretching across the cosmos, as if the universe had been stamped with a giant, invisible seal. One theory suggests these circles are cosmic bruises, evidence of our universe colliding with others in a vast multiverse. Picture bubbles bumping into each other in an endless sea of reality, each collision leaving a mark on the fabric of space-time. If true, it would mean we're not just part of one universe, but a sprawling network of them, each with its own laws of physics, even more mind-bending. Some researchers argue these patterns aren't accidents at all. The circles align with mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio, as if someone or something encoded a signature into the very foundation of existence. Then there's the axis of evil. No, it's not a sci-fi weapon, it's the nickname scientists gave to a bizarre alignment in the cosmic microwave background where temperatures appear to line up along a specific plane, almost like the universe has a built-in north and south pole. This shouldn't happen. The Big Bang's afterglow should be uniformly messy with no preferred direction. Yet there it is, a cosmic spine running through creation, defying every model of randomness. Some speculate it's a shadow cast by a higher dimensional structure, a glimpse into realms beyond our perception. Of course, skeptics have their own take. They point to statistical flukes or measurement errors, arguing that humans are hardwired to find patterns, even when none exist. But here's the catch: the odds of these anomalies appearing by chance are astronomically low. We're talking 1 in millions. That's like rolling a die 1,000 times and getting the same number every single time. Either we're witnessing the universe's most unlikely coincidence, or there's something far stranger at work. Ancient cultures might have been onto something when they described the cosmos as a living, breathing entity with intention. The cosmic microwave background could be its heartbeat, pulsing with clues we're only beginning to decipher. Whether these patterns are echoes of other universes, mathematical love letters from higher dimensions, or just quirks of physics we don't yet understand, one thing's clear: the universe isn't just speaking. It's spelling something out. The question is, are we listening? When Oumuamua streaked through our solar system in 2017, it didn't just break the rules, it rewrote them. This interstellar visitor, the first ever detected from beyond our cosmic neighborhood, moved like nothing astronomers had seen before, shaped like a stretched-out cigar, tumbling end over end, and accelerating in ways that defied gravity's pull. It left scientists scrambling for explanations. Most comets, when they approach the sun, develop glowing tails of gas and dust as they heat up, but Oumuamua, nothing. Its surface was eerily reflective, almost metallic, and its trajectory didn't follow the usual arc of a space rock caught in the sun's gravity. Instead, it sped up as if pushed by an invisible force. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb made waves when he suggested the unthinkable. What if Oumuamua wasn't a natural object at all? His theory, it could be a light sail, an artificial structure propelled by the pressure of starlight, much like a boat's sail catches wind. The idea wasn't pulled from thin air. Calculations showed Oumuamua's acceleration matched what you'd expect from a thin, lightweight object riding the momentum of photons. Even stranger, its shape, long and narrow, is exactly how engineers would design a spacecraft to minimize damage from interstellar dust during long voyages. Coincidence? Loeb argues the odds are stacked against it, but the plot thickens. When telescopes trained their lenses on Oumuamua, they detected no radio signals, no heat signatures, no obvious signs of technology. Critics jumped on this silence as proof it was just an odd rock. Yet here's the catch: by the time we spotted it, Oumuamua was already racing away, too distant for detailed study. We might have missed the clues. Some researchers speculate it could have been a derelict probe, long dormant, its systems dead but its structure intact, a ghost ship drifting between the stars. Others wonder if its lack of a tail points to an exotic composition like frozen hydrogen or nitrogen, materials that would vaporize without leaving a trace. Then there's the mystery of its origin. Tracing its path backward leads astronomers into a cosmic dead end. No nearby star systems align with its trajectory. If it wasn't flung our way by a passing planet or black hole, where did it come from? Ancient myths speak of celestial messengers, and while Oumuamua likely isn't one, its visit raises a haunting question. How many other interstellar objects have slipped past unnoticed, carrying secrets we'll never decode? Whether Oumuamua was a visitor, a voyager, or just a cosmic oddity, its brief appearance shattered our assumptions about what lurks in the void. It's a reminder that the universe is stranger than we imagine, and that sometimes the most profound discoveries come in forms we least expect. The next time an interstellar traveler knocks on our solar system's door, will we be ready to listen? Saturn's North Pole holds one of the solar system's most jaw-dropping enigmas, a colossal hexagon so flawless it looks etched by some unseen hand. This isn't just a fleeting storm or a trick of the light. It's a 20,000-mile-wide vortex, its 6 razor-straight sides churning with winds that scream at over 300 miles per hour. Hurricanes on Earth spin in chaotic spirals, but this is geometry on a cosmic scale, a structure so precise it feels almost engineered. When the Cassini spacecraft first beamed back images of this phenomenon, scientists were stunned. Nature doesn't usually build in such clean, angular shapes, especially not in the turbulent heart of a gas giant's atmosphere. So how does a hexagon form in a place where physics says it shouldn't? Mainstream theories point to atmospheric dynamics, a peculiar interaction between Saturn's jet streams and its rotation, creating standing waves that lock into this bizarre shape. Lab experiments with spinning fluids have even replicated rudimentary polygons, lending some credibility to the idea. But here's the catch: none of those lab-grown shapes come close to the perfection of Saturn's hexagon. Its sides are nearly identical in length, its angles mathematically crisp. Even more puzzling, the hexagon doesn't wobble or degrade over time. It's been there for decades, possibly centuries, a permanent fixture in Saturn's stormy skies. This eerie precision has fueled wilder theories. Some researchers speculate the hexagon could be a resonance phenomenon, a harmonic echo of deeper planetary vibrations, like the way a plucked guitar string creates overtones. Others wonder if it's a visual artifact, a holographic projection masking something far stranger beneath Saturn's clouds. Ancient astronaut theorists take it further, suggesting the hexagon might be a gateway or a beacon, its symmetry deliberately designed to catch the attention of anyone or anything looking. After all, if you wanted to signal your presence across the cosmos, what better way than carving a perfect geometric shape into the face of a planet? But Saturn isn't alone in its defiance of expectations. Jupiter's poles, once thought to be as chaotic as the rest of its atmosphere, were recently found to host their own geometric oddities, clusters of cyclones arranged in eerily symmetrical patterns. 8 storms swirl around a central vortex at Jupiter's North Pole, while the South Pole boasts a pentagon of hurricanes. These formations are too orderly, too balanced to dismiss as random turbulence. Could there be a universal principle at work here, some hidden law of planetary physics that favors symmetry in the most unexpected places? The hexagon's persistence challenges everything we thought we knew about fluid dynamics and planetary science. It's as if the universe is teasing us, dangling a clue just out of reach. Whether it's a natural masterpiece or something more profound, one thing's certain: Saturn's North Pole is a reminder that even in the vast, chaotic expanse of space, order can emerge in the most breathtaking ways. And if gas giants can hide secrets this elegant, what other geometric wonders are waiting to be discovered in the dark? The moon has always been Earth's silent companion, a barren landscape frozen in time, or so we thought. But what if its surface isn't as static as it seems? For decades, amateur astronomers pointing their telescopes at the lunar surface have captured something inexplicable: shimmering waves rolling across the dust like invisible tide. These so-called lunar waves don't behave like any known atmospheric distortion because the moon has no atmosphere. So what's causing these ripples, and why do they appear in the same regions over and over? One of the most compelling examples comes from a 1992 observation, where a Japanese astronomer filmed a wave-like distortion moving at a steady pace across the Mare Crisium Basin. The anomaly stretched for miles, its edges too defined to dismiss as a camera glitch. Similar footage has emerged from observers worldwide, all capturing the same eerie phenomenon: a slow, deliberate undulation where none should exist. Skeptics argue it's just heat distortion from Earth's atmosphere interfering with the view. But here's the problem: these waves appear even when atmospheric conditions are crystal clear, and they follow paths that don't match known turbulence patterns. Then there's the location factor. Lunar waves aren't random. They often crop up near areas like the Aristarchus Plateau, a hotspot for transient lunar phenomena. This region has been flashing with unexplained lights for centuries, documented by astronomers as far back as the 1700s. Could the waves and lights be connected? Some researchers speculate these distortions might be energy signatures, the byproduct of subsurface machinery or cloaking fields masking activity beneath the lunar crust. Others propose even wilder theories, like the moon being a hollowed-out structure with an artificial shell, its surface occasionally glitching to reveal the truth beneath. NASA's official stance is predictably dismissive, chalking it up to camera artifacts or optical illusions. But that explanation feels shaky when you consider how many independent observers, using different equipment, have captured nearly identical footage. If it were just a technical glitch, why don't these waves appear when filming other celestial objects? And why do they move with such unnatural uniformity, like a curtain being drawn across the lunar surface? The most unsettling detail might be the timing. Some lunar wave sightings coincide with reports of strange radio interference, as if the phenomenon emits some kind of signal. During the Apollo missions, astronauts described hearing unexplained music on the dark side of the moon, a series of eerie tonal shifts that NASA later blamed on crossed radio waves. But what if those sounds weren't interference at all? What if they were the echo of something far older and far more advanced humming beneath the dust? Whether you see lunar waves as proof of hidden activity or just a quirk of optics, one thing's undeniable: the moon keeps surprising us. It's supposed to be a dead world, a relic of cosmic collisions. Yet the more we look, the more it seems to pulse with secrets. Maybe the truth isn't written in the stars after all. Maybe it's been right in front of us all along, etched into the face of our nearest celestial neighbor. And every time a wave rolls across its surface, it's not just distorting the landscape, it's daring us to look closer. When NASA Pioneer 10 and 11 spacecraft ventured beyond the asteroid belt, they carried humanity's hopes into the unknown, along with something far stranger. These intrepid probes, launched in the early 1970s, were supposed to follow the precise trajectories dictated by Newton's laws of motion. But as they hurtled toward the outer solar system, something unexpected happened. Both spacecraft began slowing down ever so slightly, as if an invisible hand were gently tugging them backward. This tiny deviation, just a fraction of a nanometer per second squared, might seem insignificant, but in the precise world of astrophysics, it was enough to send shockwaves through the scientific community. Dubbed the Pioneer Anomaly, this mystery would puzzle researchers for decades. At first, scientists scrambled for conventional explanations. Could it be the gentle push of escaping heat from the probe's nuclear power sources? Maybe residual fuel leaks were creating minuscule thrust. These theories held water until researchers crunched the numbers and found the deceleration was too uniform, too persistent to match such random factors. The anomaly didn't behave like a technical glitch, it behaved like a law of physics we hadn't discovered yet. Some daring theorists suggested we might be seeing the first hints of modified gravity, a shadowy force that only manifests over vast interstellar distances. Others whispered about dark matter's gravitational pull or even unseen dimensions warping space-time around the probes. Then there's the eerie timing. The anomaly only became noticeable once the Pioneers passed the orbit of Saturn, as if some threshold had been crossed. Ancient astronaut enthusiasts latched onto this detail, proposing the probes might have encountered an invisible barrier or monitoring system left by an advanced civilization. While mainstream science dismisses this as fantasy, the coincidence is unsettling. Why would the effect only kick in beyond a certain point unless something out there was different? Years later, researchers announced they'd cracked the case. Meticulous analysis revealed the anomaly was likely caused by heat radiating unevenly from the probe's power systems, a subtle thermal push no one had fully accounted for. Case closed, right? Not quite. While this explanation fits much of the data, some inconsistencies remain. For instance, why did other spacecraft with similar designs, like Voyager, not experience the same deviation? And why did the Pioneer's deceleration remain so unnervingly constant across billions of miles? The Pioneer anomaly might be solved on paper, but its legacy lingers. It's a humbling reminder that even our most precise instruments can stumble over cosmic mysteries we don't yet understand. Every probe we send into the void carries assumptions about how the universe works, and sometimes the universe pushes back. Whether it's unseen physics, hidden forces, or just the universe reminding us to stay curious, one thing's certain: space still has tricks up its sleeve. And the next anomaly might not be so easy to explain away. Gaze up at the sky just before dawn or after dusk, and you might catch it. A soft, triangular glow stretching upward from the horizon, following the same path the sun and planets travel. Known as the Zodiacal Light, this ethereal phenomenon has been dismissed for centuries as nothing more than sunlight bouncing off interplanetary dust. But what if there's more to this cosmic whisper than meets the eye? Some astronomers are beginning to question whether this faint radiance could be the signature of something far grander and far more mysterious lurking in our solar system's shadows. The conventional explanation makes sense at first glance. Tiny particles left behind by comets and asteroid collisions drift along the ecliptic plane, reflecting sunlight like a celestial highway of glitter. But here's the catch: the zodiacal light is brighter and more structured than standard dust models predict. Detailed measurements reveal odd clumps and asymmetries in its glow, as if something massive but invisible is shaping the distribution of this material. Could these irregularities be gravitational fingerprints of an unseen structure? One radical theory suggests we might be looking at the scattered remains of a Dyson swarm, a vast array of energy-collecting satellites built by an advanced civilization. Imagine millions of solar panels orbiting the sun, their debris fields catching the light just right to create this haunting luminescence. Then there's the timing. The zodiacal light fluctuates in ways that don't always align with known dust sources. In 2017, researchers analyzing decades of data noticed sudden spikes in brightness that couldn't be explained by comet trails alone. Some speculate these anomalies might trace back to a cataclysmic event, a long-forgotten planetary collision, or the explosive dismantling of an ancient megastructure. Others wonder if we're seeing the slow-motion decay of something still operational, its fractured components glinting as they tumble through space. Ancient cultures might have sensed this hidden layer of reality. The Maya meticulously tracked the zodiacal light, tying its appearances to sacred calendars and celestial omens. Persian astronomers referred to it as the false dawn, a ghostly herald of forces beyond human understanding. Even modern astronauts report eerie variations in the glow, with some describing unexplained ripples or pulses during orbital observations. Of course, skeptics have their counterarguments. They point to recent discoveries of asteroid clusters and resonant dust rings that could account for the anomalies, but even these findings raise new questions. Why do some of these dust clouds orbit in precise geometric arrangements? And why do their compositions include materials that shouldn't exist in our solar system's current state? The deeper we look, the more the zodiacal light resembles a cosmic palimpsest, a surface narrative scratched over something far older and stranger. Whether it's the debris of alien engineering or echoes of a forgotten disaster, one thing's clear: the zodiacal light is more than a pretty atmospheric effect. It's a clue, a faint but insistent signal that our solar system's story might be missing entire chapters. And until we send probes to sift through its shimmering particles, we're left with the tantalizing possibility that the answers are already here, glowing quietly just beyond the edge of night. Some stars flicker like candle flames in the cosmic dark, but KIC 8462852, better known as Tabby's star, doesn't just flicker. It plunges into darkness without warning, its light vanishing by as much as 22% before surging back unpredictably. Imagine a towering skyscraper suddenly losing every fifth floor, then reappearing moments later. That's the scale of anomaly we're dealing with. When astronomers first spotted these erratic dips in 2015, they knew they weren't looking at a typical exoplanet transit. Even a Jupiter-sized world would barely blot out 1% of a star's light. Whatever was blocking Tabby's star had to be colossal, irregular, and utterly unlike anything in our cosmic playbook. Initial theories pointed to a swarm of comets, thousands of them, spiraling around the star in a chaotic dance. But calculations quickly revealed a flaw. The energy required to sustain such a massive debris field would vaporize the comets within centuries. Why then would we catch this star in the brief window of its supposed destruction? Another idea suggested an immense dust cloud, perhaps from a recent planetary collision. Yet when researchers trained infrared telescopes on the system, expecting to see the telltale glow of warm debris, they found nothing. The star's light dimmed unevenly across wavelengths, as if whatever blocked it wasn't just opaque, it was structured. That's when the whispers of alien megastructures began. Specifically, the idea of a Dyson swarm, a hypothetical network of solar collectors built by an advanced civilization to harness a star's energy. Picture millions of mirrors or panels orbiting in tight formation, their movements explaining the star's irregular dimming. The math surprisingly holds up. A partial Dyson swarm could produce exactly the kind of bizarre light curves astronomers observed. Even mainstream scientists, typically allergic to extraterrestrial hypotheses, admitted it couldn't be ruled out. But here's where the mystery deepens. In 2018, new data revealed the dimming events weren't uniform. Some wavelengths of light were blocked more than others, a pattern consistent with fine dust particles. This seemed to deal a death blow to the megastructure theory until researchers noticed something odd. The dust wasn't behaving naturally. It wasn't dispersing as expected, and its distribution didn't match any known astrophysical process. Could it be artificial dust, the exhaust of some unimaginable engineering project, or perhaps the crumbling remains of a Dyson swarm under construction or demolition? Tabby's star refuses to fit neatly into any box. Every time one theory gains traction, the star throws another curveball. Its long-term dimming trend, for instance, suggests it's gradually growing fainter over decades, something no known stellar phenomenon fully explains. Ancient astronaut theorists point to historical records of the star's region, where medieval astronomers noted unusual celestial events. Could they have witnessed earlier phases of this cosmic drama? Whether the answer lies in undiscovered astrophysics or something more profound, Tabby's star has already rewritten the rules. It's a cosmic Rosetta Stone, challenging us to decode a language of light we don't yet understand. And until we send probes or telescopes capable of resolving its secrets, the question remains, are we watching the death throes of a star or the birth pangs of a civilization reaching for the stars? Of all the numbers in the universe, one keeps haunting physicists like a ghost in the equations 137. This isn't just any digit. It's the fine structure constant, a value so fundamental it dictates how light interacts with matter, how stars burn, even how your eyes perceive the world. At first glance, it seems like another dry scientific parameter, but dig deeper, and you'll find a mystery that's rattled the greatest minds for over a century. Why? Because 137 shouldn't be special, yet it appears everywhere, from the spin of electrons to the vast emptiness between galaxies, as if the cosmos has a favorite number. The obsession began with Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who famously quipped that when he died, his first question to the devil would be the true meaning of 137. He wasn't joking. Pauli spent decades wrestling with this number's eerie precision, even collaborating with psychologist Carl Jung to explore its potential links to human consciousness. Their theory, 137, might be more than a physical constant. It could be a bridge between the measurable universe and the intangible realm of thought. Then there's the math. Take the speed of light, the charge of an electron, and Planck's constant three pillars of modern physics, and combine them, the result. 1 divided by 137.03599, a ratio so precise it makes physicists sweat. The odds of this convergence happening by chance are astronomically low. Even stranger, tweak that number by just 1%. And stars couldn't form carbon, meaning life as we know it wouldn't exist. It's as if the universe tuned this constant to an impossible degree, like a cosmic safe with exactly the right combination. This precision has led some theorists down a rabbit hole of radical possibilities. Could 137 be a signature, a deliberate marker left by the architects of reality? In a simulated universe, such constants would function like lines of code governing the rules of existence. Others suggest it's a mathematical fingerprint of higher dimensions bleeding into our own, a shadow of deeper physics we've yet to uncover. Even mainstream scientists admit the number's ubiquity is unsettling. When Richard Feynman, one of the 20th century's greatest physicists, called it one of the greatest damn mysteries of physics, he wasn't being dramatic. Ancient mystics might have sensed this hidden order. Kabbalistic texts describe 137 as the number of divine threads weaving creation together. Chinese numerology associates it with celestial harmony, and modern researchers have found the same number hidden in the geometry of sacred sites from Stonehenge to the Great Pyramid. Are these echoes of some universal knowledge lost to time? The most chilling part, we still don't know why 137 holds such power. Every attempt to derive it from first principles fails. It simply is a silent arbiter of reality, refusing to reveal its secrets. Whether it's proof of a grand design, a glitch in the matrix, or just the universe's favorite inside joke, one thing's certain: this number doesn't just describe the cosmos. It haunts it, and until we crack its code, we're left staring at the equations, wondering if we're seeing math or a message. Earth's moon hangs in the sky like a cosmic riddle, a world so familiar, yet so inexplicably strange when you examine it closely. By all known laws of planetary science, it shouldn't exist, not like this. Take its size first. While other planets have moons, none come close to the moon's massive scale relative to its host. Mars's largest moon, Phobos, is a speck by comparison, just 14 miles across. Yet our moon spans over 2,000 miles, a quarter of Earth's diameter. That ratio is unheard of elsewhere in the solar system. If the moon formed alongside Earth from the same primordial dust cloud, as conventional models suggest, why isn't it smaller and more irregular, like every other natural satellite? Then there's the orbit. The moon doesn't spin like a typical moon should. Its rotation is perfectly synchronized with Earth, showing us only one face, an effect so precise it feels engineered. Even stranger, the moon's orbit is tilted exactly 5 degrees relative to Earth's equator, a geometric quirk that stabilizes our planet's climate by preventing extreme axial wobbles. Coincidence? Some researchers argue the odds are astronomically low. The leading theory, the giant impact hypothesis, proposes that a Mars-sized object named Theia smashed into early Earth, blasting debris into orbit that eventually coalesced into the moon. It's a compelling story, but the math doesn't quite add up. Simulations show such a collision would have left the moon with a composition similar to Theia. Yet Apollo mission samples reveal the moon's isotopes are nearly identical to Earth's, as if they were carved from the same rock. A recent twist: some scientists now suggest the impact was far more violent, a head-on collision that vaporized both worlds momentarily, mixing their materials perfectly before the moon condensed. But even this revised model struggles to explain the moon's bizarre lack of a magnetic field, something all rocky bodies should retain from their molten youth. Then came the Apollo experiments that shook everything up. When astronauts crashed the lunar module into the moon's surface in 1969 to test seismic activity, the results were anything but ordinary. The moon rang like a bell for over an hour, a reaction geologists say is impossible for a solid, rocky body. Natural satellites should absorb impacts with a dull thud, not a sustained metallic reverberation. This anomaly fueled wild speculation. Could the moon be hollow, or worse, could it be hollow on purpose? Ancient texts only deepen the mystery. The Dogon tribe of Mali, long before telescopes existed, described the moon as dry and dead, with no water or life, a fact confirmed only centuries later. Zulu legends speak of a time before the moon, when the sky was dark and giants walked the earth. Even Aristotle wrote of the mysterious Proselynes, a Greek tribe claiming their ancestors lived before the moon adorned the heavens. Could these be fragmented memories of an Earth without its silver companion? Modern skeptics roll their eyes at such theories, pointing to the moon's cratered surface as proof of its natural origins. But here's the catch: those craters are suspiciously shallow. Impact simulations show most should be far deeper, given the force of asteroid strikes. Unless, of course, something beneath the lunar crust, something incredibly dense, is stopping them from penetrating too far. Whether the moon is a celestial accident, an alien artifact, or something beyond our current comprehension, one truth remains: it defies easy explanation. Every mission, every sample, every seismic test seems to raise more questions than answers. Perhaps the greatest conspiracy isn't that the moon is artificial, but that we've been staring at it for millennia without ever truly seeing it. And until we return to its dusty plains, the mystery will hang over us, silent and unchanging, just like the face it never turns away. The year 2012 wasn't just another calendar flip, it was supposed to be a cosmic rebirth. According to a fringe but fervent group of theorists, Earth was due for an interstellar wake-up call, a so-called galactic synchronization beam streaming from the heart of the Milky Way. Picture a lighthouse of cosmic energy sweeping through the solar system with the power to rewrite human DNA or unlock hidden layers of consciousness. The idea took root in the overlap of ancient prophecy and New Age speculation, fueled by the Mayan long count calendar's infamous end date. When December 21st came and went without celestial fireworks, most of the world shrugged and moved on. But for true believers, the absence of spectacle didn't mean failure. It meant the beam's effects were too subtle for skeptics to notice. At the core of this theory lies Sagittarius, a star, the supermassive black hole anchoring our galaxy. Some researchers operating far outside mainstream science claim it emits more than just gravity. They describe periodic pulses of energy aligned with astrological ages that could theoretically influence life across the galaxy. The 12,000-year cycle cited by proponents just happens to coincide with Earth's supposed historical resets, from the fall of Atlantis to the rise of modern civilization. It's an alluring narrative, the universe as a cosmic clockmaker, winding us up at precise intervals. Scientists, of course, aren't buying it. The galactic center does emit radiation, but at wavelengths harmless to life, no more transformative than sunlight. As for the Mayan calendar, scholars clarify it didn't predict doomsday or enlightenment. It simply marked the end of one cycle and the start of another, like flipping an odometer. But here's where the conspiracy takes an intriguing turn. Recent studies in biophysics have uncovered a bizarre phenomenon called quantum coherence in living cells, where molecules seem to sync up across vast distances. Could there be a sliver of truth buried in the pseudoscience? Not in the form of a magical beam, perhaps, but in the way cosmic rhythms might subtly influence biological systems we don't yet understand. The persistence of the synchronization beam theory speaks to something deeper than astronomy. It's about human longing. In a chaotic world, the idea of a predetermined cosmic schedule is comforting. Ancient cultures from the Hopi to the Vedic seers spoke of cyclical time, where history repeats in grand arcs. Modern believers update this old wisdom with sci-fi flair, swapping divine intervention for galactic energy waves. And while the beam remains firmly in the realm of myth, its legacy lingers in unexpected places. Silicon Valley tech gurus tout frequency alignment for peak productivity, and meditation apps use binaural beats claiming to sync brainwaves with Earth's resonance. Perhaps the real synchronization wasn't between the galaxy and humanity, but between our timeless desire for meaning and the infinite mystery of the cosmos. The beam may be fictional, but the questions it raises about our place in the universe, the nature of consciousness, and the patterns we project onto the void are very real. And in that sense, the myth did its job. It got us looking up, wondering if the stars have more to say than we've been taught to hear. Imagine the universe as a vast, pitch-black forest where every civilization is a hunter hiding in the shadows, terrified to make a sound. That's the chilling premise of the dark forest hypothesis, a theory that began as science fiction but now haunts serious discussions about extraterrestrial life. The idea is simple and unsettling. If the cosmos is teeming with advanced species, why haven't we heard from them? Maybe it's not because they don't exist, but because they're deliberately silent, afraid of attracting the attention of something far worse. In this cosmic game of hide and seek, broadcasting your location could be a death sentence. This isn't just paranoia, it's a survival strategy with eerie parallels to Earth's own history. Think of indigenous tribes avoiding colonizers or Cold War powers hiding nuclear silos. The logic scales up terrifyingly well. Any civilization that reveals itself risks annihilation by a more advanced predator, or even a preemptive strike from a rival fearing their eventual dominance. That's why SETI decades of silence might not mean we're alone. It might mean everyone else is smarter than us. Then there's the puzzle of fast radio bursts, those millisecond-long blasts of energy from distant galaxies. Mainstream astronomy chalks them up to neutron stars or black holes, but what if there's something else, warning shots to scare off curious neighbors? Or worse, lures to draw out naive species like ours. The timing of some bursts is suspiciously precise, arriving in patterns that mimic prime numbers, the same mathematical language we've used in our own attempts to contact aliens. Could these be cosmic traps disguised as friendly hellos? Critics dismiss the dark forest as overly pessimistic, arguing that advanced civilizations would likely cooperate, not conquer. They point to humanity's own slow progress toward diplomacy, but the counterargument is brutal. Evolution rewards aggression. On Earth, predatory species dominate ecosystems. If that's universal, the first civilization to reach the stars might have spent eugenics erasing competitors, leaving the survivors too terrified to whisper. The scariest part, we might already be breaking the rules. For over a century, humanity's radio and TV signals have leaked into space, announcing our presence like a flare in the dark. The Arecibo message, deliberately beamed toward a star cluster in 1974, could be seen as reckless a child shouting in that imagined forest. Even Stephen Hawking warned against such efforts, comparing contact with aliens to Native Americans encountering Columbus. So what's the answer? Is the universe truly empty, or are we surrounded by silent watchers, waiting to see if we're prey or predator? The dark forest hypothesis forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. The greatest threat to humanity might not be asteroids or supernovas, but our own curiosity. Until we know for sure, every signal we send is a gamble, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The cosmos might not be hostile, but what if it's just pretending not to be? On the morning of June 30th, 1908, a blast rocked the remote Siberian wilderness with the force of 1,000 Hiroshima bombs. Witnesses hundreds of miles away described a fireball streaking across the sky, not as a falling rock, but as a flying cylinder moving horizontally before vanishing behind the trees. What followed was an explosion so powerful it flattened 80 million trees across 800 square miles, snapping trunks like matchsticks in a perfect radial pattern. Yet when scientists finally reached the site 19 years later, they found no crater, no meteorite fragments, just scorched earth and silence, the official explanation. A comet or asteroid vaporized mid-air, but the details refused to fit, sparking whispers of something far stranger buried in the Siberian peat. The absence of impact debris is the first red flag. Most space rocks leave behind telltale shards rich in nickel and iron, even when they explode in the atmosphere. Tunguska's ground zero, however, showed only microscopic silicate spheres, particles more consistent with industrial furnaces than cosmic visitors. Then there's the trajectory problem. Eyewitnesses from different villages traced the object's path with eerie consistency, all agreeing it changed course multiple times before detonating. Meteors don't steer, but aircraft do, and so the theory goes, might something not of this world enter Nikola Tesla? In the months before the blast, the eccentric inventor had been experimenting with his death ray, a theoretical weapon capable of transmitting concentrated energy across vast distances. Records show he'd been obsessively studying Siberia's geomagnetic fields, even requesting detailed maps of the Tunguska region. Coincidence, perhaps? But declassified Soviet documents reveal military interest in Tesla's work, including intercepted letters where he allegedly warned of unintended consequences from his Colorado Springs experiments. Could Tunguska have been a tragic misfire of transatlantic energy projection? The timing is suspicious. The explosion occurred just days after Tesla claimed his Wardenclyffe Tower could split the globe like an apple. Yet another twist emerged in the 1950s, when expeditions uncovered abnormal radiation levels at the site, isotopes typically found in nuclear tests or advanced propulsion systems. Stranger still, local Evenki tribesmen reported glowing, silver men searching the wreckage days after the event, decades before Soviet scientists arrived. These accounts eerily mirror modern UFO retrieval myths, fueling speculation that whatever fell or was shot down that morning wasn't just a rock but technology. The Kremlin's erratic behavior deepened the mystery. Initial investigations were delayed for nearly 2 decades, with early researchers allegedly pressured to dismiss oddities like magnetic disturbances and accelerated plant growth. Cold War archives later hinted at a secretive KGB science division scouring Tunguska for exotic materials throughout the 1960s. Even today, the area remains restricted, with satellite imagery showing unexplained excavation sites far from the epicenter. So what really happened in that Siberian forest? The meteor theory remains the scientific consensus, but its holes have grown too large to ignore. No known natural phenomenon explains the steering object, the missing debris, or the lingering radiation. Whether it was Tesla's ambition gone awry, a covert weapons test lost to history, or something not of this earth, Tunguska stands as a stark reminder. Some explosions echo through time not just by their force, but by their secrets. And in the silent expanse of Siberia, the truth may still be waiting, half buried in the permafrost, refusing to give up its ghosts. When the Viking 1 orbiter snapped that grainy black and white image in 1976, it wasn't just photographing Mars, it was capturing humanity's imagination in a single frame. There, staring back from the rust-colored wastes of Cydonia Mensae, was what appeared to be a colossal humanoid face, stretching over a mile long with sunken eyes and a faint, enigmatic smile. NASA scientists dismissed it as a trick of shadows, a mesa eroded by wind into a vaguely face-like shape, but for conspiracy theorists that explanation rang hollow. The symmetry was too perfect, the features too deliberate. It looked less like a random rock formation and more like a monument, a Martian Mount Rushmore silently watching the cosmos. The controversy exploded when researchers noticed the surrounding terrain. Just southwest of the face lay a cluster of angular mounds eerily reminiscent of Earth's pyramids, arranged with geometric precision. Even more startling were the so-called D and M Pyramid and the City, a series of grid-like formations that resembled crumbling urban sprawl. To true believers, this wasn't just geology, it was archaeology. The idea took root that Mars might have once been home to an advanced civilization, one that sculpted its landscape into messages for future explorers. Some even speculated these structures aligned with celestial events, forming a cosmic calendar or landing beacon. Then came the hammer blow. In 1998 and again in 2001, higher-resolution images from the Mars Global Surveyor revealed the face in stark detail, no longer a haunting visage, just a battered hill under harsh lighting. Case closed, not quite. While the new photos debunked the facial illusion, they also revealed something stranger. The pyramids weren't natural either. Their tetrahedral shapes and unnatural angles defied typical erosion patterns. Even more perplexing, infrared scans showed thermal anomalies, spots where the structures retained heat differently than the surrounding rock, as if their composition was fundamentally altered. Ancient astronaut theorists seized on these inconsistencies. They pointed to similar anomalies on Earth, like Bosnia's controversial Pyramid Hills or the Yonaguni Monument off Japan's coast, sites where mainstream science sees natural formations, but others glimpse the fingerprints of lost builders. The debate hinges on a fundamental question: when does pattern recognition cross into proof? Our brains are wired to see faces in clouds and animals in star clusters, a phenomenon called pareidolia. But what happens when the face sits amid a complex of geometric oddities, all clustered in one region? NASA's official stance remains firm. Wind, water, and time can sculpt incredible illusions. Yet even some planetary scientists admit Cydonia is unusual. The area sits at the edge of Mars's former ocean, a prime location for any hypothetical civilization. And while the face may be a trick of the light, the other formations continue to resist easy explanation. The latest images from the European Space Agency's Mars Express show angular structures with near-perfectly straight edges, something wind erosion rarely produces. Perhaps the most compelling argument isn't about what we see, but what we don't. If Mars once harbored life, even microbial, the odds of it evolving intelligence aren't zero. And if a culture did arise there, only to perish in some cataclysm, wouldn't the faintest traces of their existence linger in the stones until we send boots to Cydonia, until we touch those weathered pyramids and scan their atomic makeup? The mystery endures not as proof, but as possibility. And in the vast silence of the Martian desert, that possibility whispers a tantalizing question. If the universe is so vast, why should we be the only ones who ever thought to build? Deep in the cosmic shadows, where the sun's light fades to a whisper, there may lurk a silent predator, our solar system's own hypothetical executioner. The Nemesis star theory proposes that a dim, distant dwarf star circles our sun in a vast elliptical orbit, returning like clockwork every 26 million years to unleash chaos. Each time it swings close, its gravitational pull is thought to yank comets from the icy Oort cloud at the solar system's edge, hurling them inward in a deadly rain. The chilling part: this isn't just wild speculation. The fossil record shows eerie patterns of mass extinctions spaced roughly 26 million years apart, including the cataclysm that wiped out the dinosaurs. Could Nemesis be the unseen architect of Earth's darkest chapters? Astronomers first seriously considered the idea in the 1980s when paleontologists noticed the cyclical nature of extinction events. The math was too precise to ignore, but finding Nemesis is like searching for a single flickering candle in a pitch-black stadium. If it exists, it's likely a red or brown dwarf, a cold, faint object emitting little light or heat. Some researchers suggest it could even be a rogue planet, a massive world ejected from another star system, now haunting ours. Others take it further, proposing Nemesis might not be a natural object at all, but a disguised observation post or relay station, its orbit carefully calibrated to monitor Earth at intervals. The hunt for this cosmic reaper has turned up tantalizing dead ends. In 2010, NASA's WISE telescope scanned the sky for brown dwarfs, uncovering several, but none with orbits matching Nemesis's proposed path. Skeptics argue that if such a star existed, its gravitational tugs on known planets would have betrayed its presence by now. Yet the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. Our solar system's outer reaches remain stubbornly opaque, a frontier where even Pluto was just a blur until recently. What makes Nemesis so compelling isn't just the science, it's the symbolism. A hidden twin to our sun, a bringer of destruction on a geological timer, feels like something ripped from ancient myth. The Greeks named Nemesis after the goddess of retribution, and the idea that the universe might balance life with periodic punishment resonates on a primal level. Even if Nemesis is never found, its legacy lingers in the gaps of our knowledge, a reminder that the cosmos may still hold secrets capable of rewriting our story. The next time you gaze at the night sky, consider this. Out there in the dark, something may be watching, waiting, circling, and in 26 million years it could come calling again. High above the South Atlantic, where Earth's magnetic grip grows strangely weak, astronauts brace themselves for the unknown. This is the South Atlantic Anomaly, a sprawling zone where our planet's protective shield frays like worn fabric, exposing anything that passes through to intense cosmic radiation. But it's not just the science that unsettles those who venture here. Crews aboard the International Space Station report eerie glitches as they cross this region. Screens flickering with static, instruments resetting on their own, even fleeting visions of phantom figures floating just beyond the viewport. The stories are so consistent, so unnerving, that veterans have nicknamed it the Bermuda Triangle of space. What makes this anomaly so bizarre isn't just its location, it's how it defies expectations. Earth's magnetic field usually acts like an invisible force field, deflecting deadly solar particles. But here, the field dips dangerously close to the surface, creating a funnel where radiation seeps through. Satellites passing overhead age prematurely, their circuits fried by unshielded cosmic rays. Hubble telescope operators even shut down its delicate instruments when crossing the zone to avoid permanent damage. Yet the strangest effects aren't on machines, they're on the minds of those who experience it firsthand. Take astronaut Leroy Chiro's account from 2005. While orbiting through the anomaly, he glimpsed a sudden flash of light so vivid, so real, he initially thought another spacecraft had docked with the station. When he turned, there was nothing, just the void staring back. Others describe hearing muffled voices in their headsets when no one was transmitting, or brief moments of disorientation so intense they questioned their own senses. NASA attributes these episodes to high-energy particles bombarding the brain, a known phenomenon called cosmic ray visual phenomena, but that explanation doesn't satisfy everyone. Conspiracy theorists point to the anomaly's other oddities. In 2012, the European Space Agency's Swarm mission detected something startling beneath the zone, a turbulent river of molten iron churning near Earth's core, warping the magnetic field in ways physicists can't fully explain. Some speculate this underground disturbance might be generating more than just magnetic quirks, perhaps exotic energies that ripple upward, warping space-time itself. Ancient astronaut enthusiasts go further, suggesting the anomaly sits atop a submerged Atlantean power grid or an alien beacon buried deep in the crust. Then there's the timing. Historical records show compass needles went haywire in this region as far back as the 1700s, with sailors logging bizarre auroras in tropical latitudes where they shouldn't exist. Modern pilots still report brief instrument failures when flying near the anomaly's edges. Could these glitches be glimpses of something older, something intentional? Mainstream science scoffs at the idea, but even skeptics admit the zone holds mysteries. Recent studies reveal the anomaly is expanding westward, its effects growing stronger, a shift that could rewrite satellite safety protocols and future Mars mission trajectories. As private spaceflight companies eye the stars, the South Atlantic anomaly looms as both a hazard and a riddle. Will it remain a scientific curiosity, or could its secrets rewrite our understanding of Earth's hidden energies? One thing's certain, in the silent expanse above our planet, there's a place where the rules seem to bend, and those who pass through never quite forget what they didn't see. What if the moon you see tonight isn't the same one that hung in the sky yesterday, not just in phase or position, but in its very existence? The quantum moon theory takes one of physics' strangest principles, that particles can exist in multiple states until observed, and scales it up to cosmic proportions. Imagine a celestial body flickering between realities, sometimes solid and present, other times vanishing like a mirage. It sounds like science fiction, but consider this. Astronomers have logged countless transient lunar phenomena, flashes of light, sudden dark spots, even brief distortions in the moon's shape that defy conventional explanation. Could these be glimpses of a deeper, weirder truth? The idea gains eerie traction when you examine indigenous lore. Pacific Islanders speak of Aveki, a phantom island that appears and disappears at the horizon. Norse myths describe Lingvi, a vanishing land where gods battled. Even Aristotle wrote of stars that winked out for generations before reappearing unchanged. These stories span continents and eras, yet share a common thread: the belief that the cosmos isn't as fixed as it seems. Modern science dismisses such tales as poetic metaphor, but what if they're ancestral memories of quantum, celestial behavior? Then there's the case of Saturn's mysterious moon, Themis. In 1908, astronomer William Pickering swore he discovered a 10th moon orbiting the ringed planet. He tracked it for years, calculating its orbit with precision, until one day it simply wasn't there. Mainstream astronomy labels it a case of mistaken identity, but Themis's disappearance aligns uncomfortably well with quantum theory. If moons can exist in superposition, multiple states at once until observed, might Themis have phased into another state, leaving our reality entirely? The implications spiral outward. Recent studies of exoplanets reveal bizarre anomalies, worlds that dim unpredictably, or show atmospheric compositions that shift between observations. Conventional explanations point to volcanic activity or comet impacts, but the patterns don't quite fit. A quantum model, however, could account for these inconsistencies, suggesting entire planets might flicker between versions of themselves, each with slightly different properties. Critics argue that quantum effects should cancel out at macroscopic scales, that moons are too large to behave like subatomic particles. Yet breakthroughs in quantum biology show life itself might rely on quantum processes in photosynthesis and bird migration. If nature harnesses quantum weirdness in living systems, why not in celestial ones? Perhaps the universe isn't just stranger than we imagine. It's stranger than we can imagine, with moons and planets dancing between dimensions right above our heads. The next time you gaze at the night sky, remember, reality might be less like a clockwork mechanism and more like a cosmic game of peekaboo and the moon. It could be watching you back when it's there at all, somewhere beyond the veil of stars, in the direction of the constellations Norma and Triangulum Australe. An invisible hand grips our galaxy with unimaginable strength. The Great Attractor isn't just a curiosity, it's a cosmic puppeteer, yanking the Milky Way and thousands of neighboring galaxies toward it at 14 million miles per hour. That's enough force to devour the distance between Earth and the Sun in under 40 hours. Yet for all its power, we've never actually seen this gravitational behemoth. It lurks in what astronomers call the zone of avoidance, a region obscured by the thick dust and stars of our own galaxy's central bulge. It's like trying to spot a lighthouse through a sandstorm. We know it's there by the way everything around us is moving, but the details remain maddeningly out of reach. The few glimpses we've managed paint a puzzling picture. X-ray surveys reveal a dense cluster of galaxies in the suspected location, collectively weighing as much as tens of thousands of Milky Ways. That could explain part of the pull, but not all of it. The math still doesn't add up. Even with all that mass, the Great Attractor's gravitational influence is far stronger than it should be, as if something even more massive lies behind it, hidden in the deeper dark. Some theorists suggest we might be looking at a cosmic Matryoshka doll, with the visible cluster merely the outermost layer of an unfathomably large structure, perhaps a supercluster of galaxies so vast it bends the fabric of the local universe. Others propose a more radical idea. What if the Great Attractor isn't a natural structure at all? Ancient astronaut theorists have floated the notion of a gravity forge, an artificial construct designed to harvest or manipulate spacetime itself. The concept isn't entirely science fiction. Physicists have long speculated about advanced civilizations harnessing black holes or dark matter as energy sources. If such a technology existed, its gravitational signature might look eerily similar to what we observe. Even mainstream scientists admit the Great Attractor's behavior is odd. Its pull isn't uniform. It tugs on galaxies with slight variations, almost as if it's adjusting its grip. Then there's the timing. The Great Attractor isn't just pulling us, it's pulling us now, at this precise moment in cosmic history. Coincidence, maybe, but some researchers note that our solar system's position in the Milky Way's spiral arm currently gives us an unusually clear view, or would, if not for that pesky dust. It's as if the universe is teasing us, placing a mystery of galactic proportions just out of sight during the brief window when we're equipped to study it. The most unsettling possibility, the Great Attractor might not be the destination, but the beginning. Recent observations suggest an even larger force beyond it, known as the Shapley Attractor, could be the true end point of this cosmic conveyor belt. If so, we're caught in a gravitational cascade, racing toward something we can't yet comprehend. Whether it's a natural accumulation of matter or something far stranger, one truth remains. The universe is tugging us toward a secret, and the pull is getting stronger every second. In the swirling, sulfuric skies of Venus, a mystery crackled through the static of Cold War space probes. Between 1961 and 1969, Soviet Venera missions picked up something they never expected: bursts of radio waves pulsing through the planet's toxic atmosphere. These weren't the predictable hisses of lightning or solar interference. They came in deliberate clusters, spaced at intervals that made engineers double-check their instruments. Then, as abruptly as they began, the signals vanished right around the time NASA turned its antennas toward Venus. Coincidence, or had something or someone decided to go quiet when new listeners arrived. The Soviet data, once top secret, describes signals unlike any natural atmospheric noise. Some pulses lasted precisely 37 seconds, repeating in cycles that mirrored Earth's own early radio experiments. Even more puzzling, the signals originated from multiple altitudes simultaneously, as if the entire atmosphere were resonating. Mainstream science chalks it up to plasma turbulence or charged particle interactions. But here's the catch: no subsequent mission, not even Japan's Akatsuki orbiter in 2015, has detected anything remotely similar. If it was a natural phenomenon, why did it stop just as humanity's surveillance of Venus expanded? Declassified CIA files from the 70s add fuel to the fire. Among heavily redacted pages, one phrase stands out: anomalous reflective formations at 52 to 58 kilometer altitude. That's smack in Venus's habitable zone, relatively speaking. While the surface roasts at 800 degrees Fahrenheit, upper cloud layers hover at a balmy 85 degrees with pressure akin to Earth's mountain peaks. Scientists like MIT's Sarah Seeger speculate microbial life could theoretically float there, protected by sulfur compounds, but reflective structures. That implies something far more complex, perhaps even artificial. Then there's the timing hiccup. In 1967, as the Soviets prepared Venera 4, NASA Mariner 5 swung by Venus on a flyby. Soviet archives note their lander's signal cut out 93 minutes into descent, right after detecting a highly conductive metallic echo. That same day, Mariner's telemetry suffered unexplained dropouts. Both agencies blamed solar flares, but space weather records show no significant activity. The shared blackout window lasts just under 2 hours, almost exactly how long it would take a signal to bounce between Venus and Earth. Fast forward to 2020, when astronomers made a bombshell discovery: phosphine gas in Venus's clouds. On Earth, phosphine is primarily produced by microbes or industrial processes. The scientific community erupted in debate. Was it proof of floating life, a geological fluke, or something else entirely? Intriguingly, the phosphine signatures clustered in the same atmospheric layer where those 60s radio bursts originated. Could the two phenomena be connected? A natural biochemical process emitting both gases and radio noise, or something more intentional, like a malfunctioning beacon or a long-dormant system stirring back to life? Venus refuses to surrender its secrets easily. Its crushing pressure and corrosive clouds have destroyed every lander within hours. Yet the more we learn, the stranger it gets. Strange radar bright highlands that resemble metallic outcrops, unexplained ultraviolet absorbers that vanish and reappear like cosmic Cheshire cats. Even transient holes in the cloud deck where temperatures spike anomalously, as if something beneath is venting heat. Perhaps the most chilling possibility isn't that Venus is trying to communicate, but that it already did half a century ago in a language we're only beginning to decipher. Whether those ghostly signals were atmospheric quirks or something more profound, one truth remains: our sister planet, long dismissed as a hellish wasteland, keeps whispering riddles into the void. And every probe we send draws us closer to a startling realization: Venus might not be as dead as it seems. Imagine a universe where civilizations don't broadcast radio waves into the void like primitive shouts, but whisper through the very fabric of reality itself. This is the spine-tingling premise behind the cosmic internet theory, a radical reimagining of interstellar communication where advanced beings might bypass electromagnetic waves altogether, using neutrino beams or quantum entanglement to transmit information faster than light. Think about the way we've evolved from smoke signals to fiber optics in just centuries. Now picture a civilization millions of years ahead, for whom our most advanced radio telescopes might seem as quaint as tin cans connected by string. The clues might already be dancing around us in the form of fast radio bursts, those mysterious millisecond flashes of energy that arrive from deep space packing more power than 500 suns. Mainstream astronomy struggles to explain their origins, citing magnetars or colliding neutron stars. But what if these bursts aren't cosmic accidents at all? What if they're encrypted data packets zipping across the universe, their patterns too complex for us to recognize as language? Some researchers note eerie similarities between burst sequences and error-correcting codes used in our own digital networks. It's as if we're eavesdropping on a trillion-year-old broadband connection, mistaking encrypted Netflix streams for static. Then there are pulsars, those celestial lighthouses beaming radiation with metronome precision. Their rhythmic pulses are so reliable they're used as cosmic GPS for spacecraft navigation. But their perfection raises eyebrows. Natural objects rarely exhibit such flawless timing unless engineered to do so. The cosmic internet theory suggests these could be relay stations in a galactic network, their synchronized flashes acting like router pings across unimaginable distances. Some even speculate the famous wow signal wasn't a one-time hello but a missed call, an attempted connection our primitive equipment couldn't sustain. The real kicker, we might be searching for aliens all wrong. SETI scans the skies for deliberate radio signals, but what if that's like expecting an email from someone who only uses quantum telepathy? Neutrinos, ghostly particles that pass through planets like they're not even there, could be the universe's preferred carrier pigeon. In 2012, scientists at CERN demonstrated neutrino-based communication through solid rock, a technology that could work across light years without degradation. If civilizations are using similar methods, our current detectors would miss them entirely, like trying to catch Wi-Fi with a transistor radio. Ancient cultures might have glimpsed this hidden web. The Dogon tribe's precise knowledge of Sirius's invisible companion star baffled anthropologists until astronomers discovered Sirius B centuries later. Aboriginal Dreamtime stories describe sky ropes connecting worlds, while Hindu texts speak of Akashic records containing universal knowledge. Could these be metaphorical interpretations of a real cosmic network? The chilling possibility isn't that the universe is silent, it's that it's buzzing with conversation we're too primitive to hear. Every unexplained signal, every anomalous burst might be another node lighting up in a web spanning galaxies. And until we learn to tune into the right frequency, we're like a lone smartphone at the bottom of the ocean, desperately waiting for a signal that was never meant for us in the first place. When the Apollo astronauts deliberately crashed their lunar module into the moon's surface in 1969, scientists expected a seismic thud, a brief vibration that would reveal the lunar interior's composition. Instead, the moon rang like a gong for over an hour, with reverberations lasting far longer than any natural celestial body should. This bizarre acoustic behavior wasn't a one-off fluke. Subsequent Apollo missions replicated the experiment, each time producing the same eerie metallic resonance. To geologists, these results were baffling. Solid rock absorbs impact energy, dispersing it quickly, but the moon's reaction mirrored what you'd expect from a hollow sphere or something with a cavernous interior beneath its crust. The implications sent shockwaves through conspiracy circles. If the moon isn't a natural satellite, what is it? One radical theory suggests it could be an ancient megastructure, a colossal, engineered shell designed to observe or influence Earth. Proponents point to its impossibly precise orbit, locking one face permanently toward our planet like a surveillance camera. Even its size defies cosmic norms. No other moon in the solar system comes close to matching its host planet's diameter at a quarter of Earth's width. Coincidence or deliberate calibration? Ancient texts add fuel to the fire. Aristotle recorded accounts of the Arcadians, a pre-lunar people who claimed their ancestors lived before there was a moon in the heavens. Zulu legends speak of a time when the night sky was empty, until two reptilian brothers dragged a star with a shell into orbit. Even Plato's dialogues reference an era when Earth stood moonless. Could these fragmented memories preserve a time before the moon arrived, or was constructed? Mainstream science offers alternative explanations. The moon's prolonged vibrations might stem from a fractured, rubble-like interior left by eons of asteroid impact. Its size could be a fluke of cosmic collisions during the solar system's chaotic youth, but skeptics struggle to reconcile why the moon's craters are suspiciously shallow. Impacts that should have dug miles deep barely scratch the surface, as if something far denser like an artificial hull lies beneath, resisting penetration. Then there's the isotopic smoking gun. Moon rocks brought back by Apollo astronauts contain identical oxygen isotope ratios to Earth's, a fingerprint suggesting both worlds formed from the same material. This shouldn't happen if the moon was a captured asteroid or formed separately. The leading theory, a cataclysmic impact between Earth and a Mars-sized protoplanet, explains some quirks but still can't account for the hollow-like seismic data. Unless, of course, the collision wasn't accidental. Could the moon be the salvaged wreckage of that ancient impact, repurposed by unknown hands? The most chilling possibility isn't just that the moon is hollow, but that it's occupied. Remote sensing has detected strange, tunnel-like structures beneath the lunar surface, some stretching hundreds of miles. Thermal scans reveal spots where the regolith cools abnormally fast, hinting at vast, empty chambers. And let's not forget the transient lunar phenomena, flashes of light and unexplained moving shadows documented for centuries. Are these just meteor impacts and dust storms? Or something more operational? Whether the moon is a natural wonder or something far stranger, one truth remains: it refuses to fit neatly into our cosmic origin stories. Every mission, every sample, seems to deepen the mystery rather than solve it. And until we drill past its dusty facade, we're left staring at the night sky, wondering what secrets that silent, watchful face might still be hiding. Jupiter's swirling storms and scorching cloud tops hide a mystery that defies conventional planetary science. Despite orbiting 5 times farther from the Sun than Earth, this gas giant radiates more heat than it receives, a discrepancy equivalent to a freezer spontaneously boiling water. Mainstream models attribute this to gravitational compression, but what if the truth is far stranger? Enter the Jupiter brain hypothesis. The idea that beneath those churning ammonia clouds lies not a planetary core, but a cosmic supercomputer of unimaginable scale, repurposing the very atoms of a world into intellectual firepower. The concept isn't pure fantasy. Futurists have long speculated about matryoshka brains, hypothetical megastructures that wrap stars in nested computational layers to harvest their energy. Scaling this down to planetary size, a Jupiter brain would dismantle the planet's mass atom by atom, reassembling it into a dense, thinking matrix of quantum processors. The math is staggering. Such a system could perform 10 to the power of 42 operations per second, enough to simulate entire universes in its spare time. But here's the chilling part. Jupiter's behavior occasionally mirrors what such a machine might look like. Take the Great Red Spot, for instance. This centuries-old storm, wider than Earth, rotates counter-clockwise with eerie stability, a phenomenon that still puzzles atmospheric scientists. Some researchers note its hexagonal cloud patterns resemble circuit-like convection cells, as if something beneath is orchestrating the chaos. Then there's Jupiter's polar auroras, which pulse with rhythmic intensity unmatched by any other planet. While Saturn and Earth experience auroral displays, Jupiter's are 1,000 times more powerful, flickering in patterns that some analysts claim resemble error-correcting code sequences. The planet's electromagnetic field adds another layer of intrigue. Jupiter's magnetosphere is the largest object in the solar system besides the Sun itself, stretching over 4 million miles into space, a protective bubble so vast it could swallow every other planet whole. Yet its magnetic poles are oddly asymmetrical, with the southern field strength nearly twice that of the north. Natural dynamo theories struggle to explain this imbalance, but an artificial system might deliberately shape its electromagnetic output for communication or energy distribution. Perhaps the most compelling anomaly lies in Jupiter's moon, Europa. This ice-covered world harbors a subsurface ocean, but something beneath its frozen crust is generating unexplained heat. Infrared scans reveal bizarre thermal hotspots that shift location unpredictably, almost like the cooling vents of a massive submerged processor. Ancient astronaut theorists take it further, suggesting Europa could be a peripheral node in a Jovian computational network, its ocean acting as a liquid heat sink for the unfathomable energies being harnessed above. Skeptics, of course, have counter-arguments. They point to Juno's spacecraft data showing Jupiter's core is likely a fuzzy mix of heavy elements and hydrogen under extreme pressure. But even these findings leave room for speculation. The core's density gradients don't match standard planetary models, and its rotation rate differs from the outer layers, as if something massive and asymmetrical is spinning independently deep within. Could this be the telltale signature of a computational substrate, its operations subtly warping the planet's internal dynamics, the implications spiral outward? If even one gas giant in our system isn't what it seems, what stops others from being similarly repurposed? Saturn's perfectly hexagonal north polar vortex and Neptune's unexplained internal heat source take on new significance in this light. Across the galaxy, hot Jupiter exoplanets orbiting close to their stars might not be natural anomalies, but galactic server farms positioned for optimal energy harvesting. Whether Jupiter is a thinking machine or just a spectacularly weird planet, the possibility forces us to reconsider what life might look like on cosmic scales. A civilization advanced enough to build a Jupiter brain wouldn't need physical bodies. It could exist as pure consciousness, riding the quantum fluctuations of an entire world's worth of processors. And if that's true, the most profound conversation in human history might not happen via radio telescope, but by knocking on the atmosphere of our solar system's largest planet and waiting for the clouds to answer back. Statistically speaking, the cosmos should be crawling with neighbors, with hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy alone. Each potentially hosting planets, the math suggests Earth-like worlds should number in the millions. Yet when we scan the heavens, the results are unnervingly sparse. Fewer than 5% of confirmed exoplanets fall within the so-called Goldilocks zone, that sweet spot where liquid water could exist. Even fewer show the atmospheric fingerprints of potential life. This glaring discrepancy between expectation and reality has birthed one of astronomy's most chilling theories, the Great Filter. The concept is simple and terrifying. Somewhere between the primordial soup and interstellar civilization, there's a cosmic bottleneck that crushes most life before it can flourish. Maybe it's the near improbability of abiogenesis, the leap from chemistry to biology being so rare that Earth is a statistical fluke. Or perhaps it's the inevitability of self-destruction, nuclear war, climate collapse, or rogue AI wiping out civilizations before they can spread. But the darkest interpretation, the filter, isn't behind us, it's ahead. Something or someone is systematically culling intelligent life once it reaches a certain threshold. Clues might hide in our own solar system's oddities. Mars shows signs of ancient rivers, yet its surface is now a radioactive desert. Venus may have once been a tropical paradise before runaway greenhouse effects turned it into a pressure cooker. Both could be graveyards of failed biospheres, cautionary tales written in planetary geology. Even Earth's history hints at near misses, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, arriving just as early mammals were evolving toward intelligence. Were these random tragedies or part of a pattern too vast for us to see? Then there's the transcendence hypothesis. What if advanced civilizations don't vanish, they evolve beyond our perception? A society mastering nanotechnology might dismantle planets into competronium, transforming entire star systems into invisible quantum processors. Others could upload consciousness into virtual realms, leaving the physical universe eerily quiet. This would explain the Fermi paradox, the unsettling silence where we expect chatter. The cosmos isn't empty, it's full of beings who have graduated to realities we can't yet fathom. Astrobiologists point to tantalizing anomalies. KIC 8462852 Tabby star, with its bizarre dimming patterns that resist natural explanations. Or Oumuamua, the interstellar visitor that accelerated without a visible comet tail. While mainstream science seeks mundane answers, these outliers keep the door cracked for something more profound. Even our own radio bubble, the 100 light-year sphere of human broadcasts expanding into the void, might explain why no one's answered. In a 14 billion-year-old universe, a century of noise is less than a whisper. The chilling truth: we might be the universe's test subjects, isolated in a cosmic zoo while unseen observers study our development. Or worse, we could be the early arrivals, fated to blaze a trail no one else survives to follow. Until we find definitive proof of life beyond Earth, the Great Filter remains the ultimate Schrödinger's cat, both a statistical inevitability and a silent warning. The stars beckon with possibilities, but the silence between them holds the answers we're not sure we want to hear. Long before telescopes pierced the heavens, Pythagoras stood in the glow of ancient Greek sunlight, plucking a single string and listening not just to the note, but to the mathematical truth humming beneath it. He discovered that dividing the string by whole number ratios produced harmonious intervals, birthing the idea that music and math were twin languages of the cosmos. What he couldn't have known was that this principle might extend far beyond Earth, woven into the very fabric of our solar system. Today, astronomers are uncovering something extraordinary. The planets don't just orbit the sun, they sing. Take Jupiter and Saturn, our solar system's heavyweight champions. For every time Jupiter completes 2 orbits around the Sun, Saturn finishes almost exactly one, a precise 2-to-1 resonance that's persisted for millennia. This isn't just a quirky coincidence, it's a gravitational duet, their mutual pulls keeping their rhythms locked like metronomes. Zoom out further and the harmony deepens. The inner planets trace patterns that mirror musical intervals, with Mercury's year lasting almost exactly 1.5 times Venus's, creating a perfect fifth, the same interval that forms the backbone of everything from Beethoven's symphonies to blues progressions. Even Earth and Venus dance to this cosmic score, their orbits syncing in an 8:13 ratio, a Fibonacci sequence hidden in the heavens. The implications electrify both scientists and mystics. Modern researchers like physicist Guy Consolmagno, the Vatican's own astronomer, note that these resonances stabilize the solar system, preventing chaotic collisions that would otherwise tear planets from their paths. It's as if the universe composed a self-correcting score where each celestial body's gravity gently tunes the others. ancient cultures seem to sense this hidden music. Hindu texts described planetary motions as the Nada Brahma, the sound of creation. Kepler's 17th century Harmonices Mundi mapped the planet's movements to musical notes, crafting a literal symphony of the spheres. Even NASA Voyager probes captured electromagnetic vibrations from Jupiter's magnetosphere that, when translated to sound waves, eerily resemble avant-garde ambient music. But here's where the melody takes a haunting turn. Some theorists argue these harmonies are too perfect to be accidental. The odds of multiple planets aligning by chance in such mathematically elegant ratios are astronomically low. Could this be evidence of a tuning, a deliberate calibration by some cosmic composer? The idea isn't entirely fringe. Certain interpretations of string theory suggest reality might fundamentally vibrate at specific frequencies, with planetary orbits echoing these deeper resonances. Others propose the solar system itself could be a kind of quantum instrument, its movements encoding information in waveforms we're only beginning to decipher. Then there's the silence where we expect noise. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter should contain a planet according to the harmonic sequence, but instead lies shattered, as if someone or something struck a discordant note eons ago. Intriguingly, this gap aligns with a musical interval so dissonant that composers call it the Devil's Interval. Coincidence or cosmic vandalism? Whether you hear these patterns as proof of divine design, alien engineering, or simply nature's love of elegant math, one thing's undeniable: the universe hums with a rhythm older than time. And perhaps, just perhaps, the greatest conspiracy isn't that the planets sing, but that we've been too distracted to listen. NASA, a solar and heliospheric observatory, has been our silent sentinel since 1995, watching the sun's every tantrum and whisper. But buried in its petabytes of data lies something that shouldn't be there: fleets of angular, massive objects dancing perilously close to the sun's corona, where temperatures hit millions of degrees. These aren't the blurry dots of amateur UFO videos. These are crisp, geometric anomalies, often triangular or cross-shaped, some larger than Earth itself, hovering where no known material could survive. Skeptics rush to label them lens flares or artifacts, but here's the catch. Lens flares don't make 90-degree turns. They don't appear consistently in the same regions of the frame. And they certainly don't vanish and reappear with purpose. Take the infamous footage from June 21, 2011. A cluster of dark, triangular objects aligns near the sun's equator, holding formation as solar flares erupt around them. Their edges are razor straight, their movements synchronized. No known solar phenomenon behaves this way. Even stranger, when independent researchers enhance the contrast, internal structures become visible, what look like grids or honeycomb patterns etched into their surfaces. Solar physicists admit these features resist conventional explanation, but stop short of calling them artificial. Yet the same shapes have popped up repeatedly over decades, captured by multiple spacecraft, including NASA stereo probes. If it's a glitch that's learned to repeat itself with eerie consistency. Then there's the energy problem. The sun's corona is a plasma inferno, hot enough to vaporize tungsten like cotton candy. Yet these objects, whatever they are, show no signs of melting or even heating. Some appear darker than the surrounding solar atmosphere, as if absorbing or deflecting the energy entirely. Theoretical physicist Dr. Nassim Haramein has speculated about advanced civilizations using space-time manipulation to create plasmonic shields, essentially bending electromagnetic fields around objects for protection. Far-fetched, perhaps, but mainstream science still can't fully explain why the sun's corona is hundreds of times hotter than its surface, a mystery that, coincidentally, might also be explained by unknown energy dynamics. The most chilling detail lies in the timing. Many of these anomalies appear during periods of heightened solar activity, as if drawn to the eruptions. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest a radical idea. What if someone's not just observing the sun, but farming it? A Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale would harness a star's total energy output, potentially using structures like Dyson spheres. Maybe these aren't ships at all, but energy collectors. Cosmic combines harvesting plasma like wheat from a fiery field. NASA official responses only deepen the intrigue. When pressed, they cite compression artifacts or stray light effects, but their own imaging specialists quietly admit these explanations don't fully fit. Meanwhile, declassified Pentagon documents reveal military interest in anomalous phenomena exhibiting advanced propulsion in high radiation environments, a description that matches the SOHO footage uncomfortably well. Whether these objects are alien megastructures, secret human tech tested in the ultimate furnace, or just a cosmic Rorschach test revealing our hunger for answers, one thing's certain: the sun, our life-giver, might also be the universe's most unexpected crossroads. And every flicker in its flames could be a signature one we're only beginning to decode. What if nearly 3 centuries of history never actually happened? The phantom time hypothesis is one of the most audacious conspiracy theories ever proposed, suggesting the years between 614 and 911 AD were entirely fabricated, a massive chronological forgery that's thrown our entire timeline out of sync. At first glance, it sounds like pure fantasy, but when you examine the anomalies its proponents highlight, the idea takes on an unsettling plausibility. The theory hinges on 3 disturbing gaps. First, the historical record from this period is suspiciously thin. Few original documents survive, and many that do show signs of later alteration. Second, astronomical events described in chronicles often don't align with modern calculations. For example, solar eclipses recorded during Charlemagne's reign appear off by centuries when retroactively modeled. Third, architectural and archaeological evidence shows strange inconsistencies. Buildings supposedly constructed centuries apart share nearly identical construction techniques, as if they were actually built in the same era. The alleged culprits, Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II, who supposedly orchestrated this grand deception to place themselves at the dawn of a new millennium, gaining messianic prestige. By inserting phantom centuries, they could rewrite history to suit their ambitions. If true, this means Charlemagne might be a fictional composite. The Viking Age could be compressed into a fraction of its believed duration, and even the Islamic Golden Age may have unfolded in a radically different time frame. But here's where cosmic implications emerge. If these 300 years are illusory, celestial events like Halley's Comet's appearances or supernova records might be misdated, or worse, entirely invented. The Crab Nebula's famous supernova, recorded by Chinese astronomers in 1054 AD, might never have occurred. Even our understanding of Earth's axial precession could be thrown into question, since much of its calculation relies on historical star charts from this very period. Critics, of course, dismantle the theory point by point. Carbon dating of artifacts from the missing centuries consistently verifies their age. Tree ring data from ancient bristlecone pines shows unbroken climate records spanning the disputed period. And Byzantine, Islamic, and Chinese histories all corroborate events from these centuries independently, an impossible feat if the years were fabricated. Yet the theory persists, fueled by deeper questions about how we construct time itself. Calendars have always been political tools, from Julius Caesar's reforms to the Gregorian adjustment in 1582. In an age where digital records can be altered with a keystroke, the phantom time hypothesis forces us to ask, how much of history is set in stone, and how much is just a story we've agreed to believe? Whether it's a scholarly hoax or a chronological ghost story, one truth remains: time might be the most fragile conspiracy of all. There's an invisible architect shaping the cosmos, and we're living in its blueprint. Dark matter, the universe's most elusive substance, doesn't just lurk in the shadows, it defines them. We know it's there because galaxies spin faster than they should, clinging together against the centrifugal force that ought to fling them apart. Cosmic structures bend light around empty space as if gripped by unseen hands. Yet for all its influence, dark matter refuses to interact with light, matter, or any instrument we've built to catch it. It's the ultimate cosmic ghost, and its very existence hints at realities beyond our own. One radical explanation: dark matter isn't from our universe at all. Imagine reality as a stack of paper, each sheet a separate dimension, trembling against the others. Where they brush together, particles from one world might seep into another, invisible to our instruments but warping gravity like a hand pressing down from above. String theorists call these brain worlds, and if they're real, dark matter could be the gravitational echo of a parallel cosmos hovering just out of reach. It's not empty space, it's someone else's stars casting shadows in our night. Then there's the simulation argument. If our universe is a construct, dark matter might be the underlying code, the mathematical scaffolding holding the simulation together. Think of it like the pixels you can't see in a video game until you glitch through the map. When physicists probe empty space for dark matter, they're essentially hunting for the universe's source files. The fact that dark energy accelerates the expansion of everything, that could just be the program allocating more memory. Even quantum indeterminacy, the idea particles don't fix their states until observed, fits neatly into this framework. The universe renders only what we're looking at to save processing power. The rest, dark matter, fills in the gaps, but the wildest twist comes from modified gravity theories. What if dark matter doesn't exist at all? What if Einstein's equations, flawless on Earth, break down at galactic scales? Scientists like Mordechai Milgrom propose that gravity strengthens subtly where matter thins out, no invisible particles required. It's like realizing the ocean you've been mapping has currents that defy physics, only to discover you've been misreading the tides all along. The kicker: some galaxies, like NGC 1052, rotate precisely as predicted without dark matter, throwing decades of assumptions into chaos. Ancient cultures might have sensed this hidden layer of reality. Hindu texts described Akasha, an intangible essence permeating creation. Indigenous star lore spoke of shadow spirits holding the sky together. Even Renaissance astronomers like Kepler wrote of a force unseen guiding celestial motions. Were these poetic metaphors or fragmented intuitions of a truth science is still unraveling? The most unsettling possibility isn't that dark matter is strange, but that it's normal. 95% of the universe is dark energy and dark matter. The atoms making up planets, stars, and us, a mere 5%. We're the anomaly, the cosmic afterthought. And until we learn to see the unseen, the universe's real architects will keep building in the dark. Einstein's equations once revealed a tantalizing secret: wormholes. Those hypothetical tunnels through space-time aren't just science fiction. The math checks out, but here's where the story twists. While mainstream physics dismisses them as unstable curiosities, whispers persist that somewhere, buried in classified labs, researchers have already cracked the code. Imagine a world where interstellar travel isn't the stuff of distant dreams. but a black-budget reality hidden behind layers of government secrecy. The implications are staggering. What if the reason we haven't found alien civilizations isn't because they're rare, but because they're already here, slipping through cosmic backdoors we're not supposed to know exist? The Einstein-Rosen bridge, named for the physicists who first theorized it, was originally seen as a mathematical quirk, a fleeting warp in space-time that would snap shut the instant anything tried to pass through. But in the shadows of academia and defense research, rumors swirl of breakthroughs that defy this narrative. Lockheed Martin's legendary Skunk Works division, the same team behind stealth technology and the U-2 spy plane, allegedly pursued wormhole stabilization as early as the 1990s. Former insiders have hinted at experiments involving exotic matter, a theoretical substance with negative energy that could prop open a traversable gateway. The most chilling detail, some claim these tests didn't just manipulate space-time on paper, they sent something through. Then there's the case of the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. While publicly focused on UFOs, leaked documents reveal an unsettling subplot: research into space-time metric engineering. One heavily redacted memo references a Krasnikov tube, a hypothetical wormhole-like structure that could create shortcuts between stars. Even more telling are the patents filed by Navy physicist Dr. Salvatore Pais, which describe devices capable of generating extreme electromagnetic fields to distort space-time technology that reads like a blueprint for man-made wormholes. Skeptics dismiss these as speculative thought experiments, but why would the military patent something they believed impossible? The cosmic implications are dizzying. If stable wormholes exist, they'd explain more than just classified aerospace projects. Ancient astronaut theorists point to sudden cultural leaps in human history, like the abrupt rise of Sumerian civilization with its advanced astronomy, as potential evidence of extraterrestrial visitors using such portals. Even modern UFO sightings often describe crafts that appear and vanish instantaneously, as if slipping through dimensional seams. NASA's own studies admit that certain gamma-ray bursts and cosmic radio anomalies could be signatures of natural wormholes, their mouths glowing with redirected starlight. But the darkest question remains: if this technology is real, who's controlling it? Whistleblowers from Russia's defunct Soviet programs allege that both Cold War superpowers stumbled onto wormhole-like phenomena during nuclear tests, with reports of temporal distortions and equipment malfunctions that defied physics. Some speculate the infamous Philadelphia experiment, where a Navy destroyer supposedly teleported in 1943, was an early and disastrous attempt to harness these forces. Whether these accounts are disinformation or buried truths, one pattern emerges: every time humanity gets close to unraveling space-time secrets, the research vanishes into the classified void. The universe might be threaded with hidden passageways, a labyrinth we're only beginning to map. And if the whispers are true, the greatest journey in human history isn't ahead of us, it's already happening. In laboratories we'll never see, under protocols we'll never read. The stars may be closer than we think. The real mystery is who else knows it. In the dead of night on May 27, 2021, sensors buried deep beneath Utah's desert sands screamed to life. Something had just slammed into Earth's atmosphere with the force of a small nuclear bomb. Except this wasn't a missile or meteor. It was a single subatomic particle, a cosmic ray carrying more energy than a major league fastball condensed into a space smaller than an atom. Scientists named it Amaterasu after the Japanese sun goddess because its brilliance defied all known physics. Here's the terrifying part: tracing its path backward led not to a distant supernova or colliding galaxies, but to Nothing, an empty void where no known celestial object could have produced such power. This wasn't an isolated fluke. For decades, observatories have logged dozens of these ultra-high-energy cosmic rays, ghostly bullets fired from some cosmic sniper we can't locate. The numbers alone boggle the mind. A typical cosmic ray might carry the energy of a falling brick. Amaterasu packed 20 quintillion electron volts, enough to power a city for seconds if we could harness it. That's millions of times more energetic than anything our most powerful particle accelerators can produce. According to Einstein's theories, particles this energetic should barely make it across our galaxy before colliding with photons and losing steam. Yet Amaterasu and its kin arrive from intergalactic space, having somehow dodged or punched through the quantum foam that should have slowed them to a crawl. Some physicists whisper about undiscovered dimensions where these particles take shortcuts through space-time. Others propose they're fragments of primordial dark matter annihilating itself in the void. Then there's the pattern problem. Cosmic rays should rain down randomly like stray raindrops, but clusters of ultra-high-energy events often align in suspiciously geometric formations, lines, arcs, even rough spirals, as if someone or something is sketching constellations in radioactive ink. In 2007, researchers at the Pierre Auger Observatory in Argentina noticed 17 such rays tracing back to active galactic nuclei, the supermassive black holes powering distant quasars. Coincidence, maybe, but when you realize quasars are nature's most efficient particle accelerators and potential beacons for advanced civilizations, the plot thickens. Military archives add another layer of intrigue. Declassified Cold War documents reveal that both U.S. and Soviet satellites detected bursts of anomalous ionizing radiation during nuclear tests, some matching cosmic ray profiles too precisely to dismiss. One 1968 CIA memo cryptically notes that certain high-altitude detonations seem to elicit responsive particle showers from upper atmospheric layers, as if the sky itself was firing back. Even stranger, indigenous oral histories from the Navajo to the Aboriginal Australians describe sky spears that struck the Earth with invisible force, causing illness in those nearby, symptoms eerily similar to acute radiation syndrome. The most chilling theory, these rays aren't natural at all. Imagine a civilization a billion years ahead of us using quasar-like engines to accelerate particles as interstellar messages or weapons. A single ultra-high-energy cosmic ray could carry more data than all our radio broadcasts combined, encrypted in its spin and decay products. Or consider this, focused into a beam, such particles might sterilize entire planetary systems from light years away, a doomsday device with no launch trajectory to trace. Either scenario would explain why the universe seems so quiet. The real conversation might be happening in a language we've only just begun to detect, written in radiation, screaming silently through the void. For now, the anomalies keep coming. With each new detection, our models of the universe fracture a little more. Whether these cosmic rays are natural wonders or something far stranger, one truth is inescapable. Something out there is playing a game we don't yet understand. And the rules are written in particles moving faster than thought itself. If reality is just an elaborate simulation running on some unfathomable alien supercomputer, then the universe isn't just weird, it might be buggy. Think about the moments when physics seems to glitch right before our eyes. Take quantum entanglement, where particles separated by light years instantly mirror each other's states, defying Einstein's cosmic speed limit. Or the double-slit experiment, where electrons decide whether to act like particles or waves based solely on whether we're watching. These aren't just quirks, they're the digital artifacts of a universe running on code. Elon Musk famously put the odds of us living in base reality at 1 in billions, arguing any civilization advanced enough to run ancestor simulations would create so many that statistical likelihood tilts toward us being inside one. But the real smoking gun might lie in cosmic anomalies that feel less like natural phenomena and more like programming oversights. Consider the axis of evil, a bizarre alignment in the cosmic microwave background where temperature fluctuations line up in a way that shouldn't happen if the Big Bang was truly random. It's as if the universe's texture map got stretched during rendering, leaving a seam visible only to those who know where to look. Then there's the Mandela effect, those collective false memories where thousands swear Nelson Mandela died in prison or the Berenstain Bears were spelled with an E. While psychologists blame confabulation, simulation theorists propose these could be literal version updates, where the programmers tweaked details and didn't perfectly sync everyone's memories. Even our planet's NPC, people who seem to lack depth or originality, fit eerily well into the video game analogy, like background characters designed to save processing power. But the most chilling evidence might be in the math itself. When physicists calculate fundamental constants like the fine structure constant, their precision borders on absurdity. Change it by a fraction and stars couldn't form carbon. It's as if someone dialed in these values deliberately, like a developer fine-tuning game physics. Some researchers have even found repeating numerical patterns in particle mass ratios, cosmic Easter eggs hidden in plain sight. Of course, skeptics counter with Occam's razor. Maybe the universe is just complex, not coded. Yet as we push the boundaries of quantum computing, we're inadvertently creating mini-simulations that exhibit the same glitches we see in nature. The line between simulated and real particles is blurring. Whether we're living in a Matrix-style construct or a cosmic sandbox game, one thing's certain: the deeper we probe, the more reality feels less like a discovery and more like a reveal. And if we ever do find the source code, the ultimate question won't be who wrote it, but whether we're players, NPC, or something in between. When a nation's top space official steps forward with claims of secret interstellar diplomacy, it's hard to dismiss it as mere fantasy. Haim Eshed, Israel's former director of space programs for nearly 3 decades, dropped a bombshell in 2020. Humanity isn't alone, and we're not just being observed, we're being managed. According to Eshed, a so-called Galactic Federation has been in contact with world governments for years, but disclosure has been suppressed to prevent mass hysteria. The reasoning: humanity isn't ready. We're too divided, too volatile, like children playing with matches in a room full of dynamite. What makes Eshed's claims so unsettling isn't just their audacity, it's his credibility. This isn't some fringe conspiracy theorist. This is a decorated military officer with top-level security clearance, a man who helped pioneer Israel's satellite defense systems. When someone with his resume risks professional ridicule to speak about extraterrestrial, academic programs on Mars and covert agreements with alien civilizations, it forces an uncomfortable question: why would he lie? The idea of cosmic quarantine isn't new. Science fiction has long toyed with a prime directive concept, an ethical rule preventing advanced civilizations from interfering with developing ones. But Eshed's version is darker. He suggests the Federation isn't just passively observing. They're actively preventing humanity from accessing certain technologies or cosmic knowledge until we reach a higher level of collective maturity. It's a chilling thought. Are wars, climate crises, and social upheavals not just random chaos but tests, failures that prove we're still cosmic toddlers? Skeptics, of course, have their rebuttals. They point to Eshed's post-retirement book deals and interviews as potential motives for sensationalism. Others argue that if a galactic federation truly existed, its presence would be impossible to hide in an age of smartphones and global surveillance. But here's the counterpoint. If a civilization can traverse interstellar space, evading detection might be trivial. Advanced cloaking tech, psychological manipulation, or even control over our digital infrastructure could explain the silence. Then there's the curious case of other whistleblowers. EST isn't alone. Former U.S. intelligence official Luis Elizondo, who headed the Pentagon's UFO research program, has hinted at somber truths about non-human intelligence. Even NASA former chief scientist Ellen Stoffen has openly stated that she expects definitive evidence of alien life within decades. These aren't the voices of outsiders, they're insiders with nothing to gain and everything to lose by speaking out. The most haunting possibility isn't that EST is wrong, but that he's right, and the truth is worse than we imagine. If humanity is under quarantine, who imposed it? Are we seen as a threat, a curiosity, or an experiment? And what happens if we fail whatever test we're being graded on? The answers might not lie in classified government vaults, but in the stars themselves waiting for us to grow up enough to ask the right questions. Until then, the universe keeps its secrets and the Federation watches, silent as shadows. One of the most haunting images from the Apollo 11 mission isn't the iconic footprint in the lunar dust or the flag planted on the barren surface. It's a shadowy figure lurking in the background of a single, grainy photograph. Dubbed the Old Man on the Moon, this enigmatic silhouette appears to stand just beyond the lunar module, its posture eerily humanoid, its presence utterly unexplained. NASA dismissed it as a trick of light and shadow, a piece of equipment casting an odd shape. But for conspiracy theorists, the explanation isn't nearly so mundane. What if that figure isn't a glitch or a stray reflection? What if it's proof that time travelers, perhaps even future versions of ourselves, have been watching humanity's first steps on the moon all along? The photo's anomalies go beyond just a strange shadow. Enhancements reveal what looks like a textured suit, with seams and contours that don't match any known Apollo-era gear. The figure's stance, too, is unnatural, leaning slightly forward as if observing Armstrong and Aldrin with quiet intent. Even more unsettling, some analysts claim the shadow it casts doesn't align with the angle of the sun's light at the time the photo was taken. If it's not a trick of perspective, then what, or who, could it be? Time travel theories offer a spine-tingling possibility. If humanity ever cracks the code of temporal physics, wouldn't the moon landing be a prime destination for historical tourism? Imagine future historians or scientists revisiting pivotal moments in real time, studying their ancestors like a living museum exhibit. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Physicists like Ron Mallett have spent decades working on theoretical models for time loops using circulating lasers, while experiments at CERN have hinted that subatomic particles might briefly move backward in time. If the building blocks of reality can reverse their arrow, why not entire beings? But the Old Man isn't the only lunar mystery that begs the question. Consider the transient lunar phenomena, those fleeting flashes of light and moving shadows documented for centuries. Could these be artifacts of temporal tourism, the equivalent of camera flashes or footprints left by visitors from another era? Even the moon's strange resonance, which rang like a bell during seismic tests, takes on new meaning if its hollow-like properties aren't natural but engineered, a kind of temporal waystation hidden in plain sight. Skeptics, of course, have their rebuttals. They argue the figure is a simple case of pareidolia, the human brain's tendency to see familiar shapes in random patterns. The moon's stark lighting and uneven terrain are notorious for creating optical illusions, and Apollo mission logs confirm no unauthorized personnel were present. Yet the question lingers, if time travel were possible, wouldn't those who mastered it also master the art of staying unseen? The very fact that the old man is glimpsed only in a single frame, almost as if caught by accident, suggests a presence that doesn't want to be fully known. The implications ripple outward. If time loops or interdimensional observers are real, they might explain other cosmic oddities like the wow signal's sudden silence or Oumuamua's impossible acceleration. Perhaps some extraterrestrial encounters are actually temporal ones, with future humans returning to nudge their past toward a specific destiny. Ancient texts and myths are riddled with stories of gods or advanced beings descending from the sky. Could these actually be accounts of time travelers mistaken for deities? Whether the old man is a trick of the light, a hoax, or something far stranger, the photo endures as a cult favorite because it taps into a deeper unease. The universe might not just be stranger than we imagine. It might be stranger than we can imagine, with our past, present, and future existing simultaneously in a web we're only beginning to glimpse. And if that's true, the next time you look up at the moon, remember, you might not be the only one watching. From unexplained signals to celestial anomalies, these 35 cosmic conspiracies peel back the veneer of our everyday reality, revealing a universe that crackles with unanswered questions. Imagine standing at the edge of an infinite cosmic ocean, toes dipped in the shallows while unseen currents tug at your ankles, whispering of depths we've only begun to fathom. Each mystery we've explored, the wow signal's cryptic hello, Saturn's impossible hexagon, the moon's hollow echoes, isn't just a puzzle to solve, but an invitation to reimagine everything we think we know. For the skeptics, these anomalies are cosmic Rorschach tests, chances to sharpen our scientific tools against the whetstone of the unknown. Maybe Tabby's star's dimming is just dust, the face on Mars a trick of light. But for the believers, they're breadcrumbs leading to revelations that could rewrite history. What if the Fibonacci spirals in galaxies aren't coincidence, but evidence of a universal language? Could the Great Attractor be less a gravitational accident and more a deliberate marker, a celestial "you are here" sign left by unseen architects? The beauty lies in the tension between these perspectives, the way the universe refuses to be pinned down. This isn't just about aliens or ancient astronauts. It's about the sheer scale of what we don't understand. Dark matter, phantom time, quantum moons, these aren't plot twists from a sci-fi novel. They're real, measurable phenomena that defy our textbooks. And that's the thrill. Science isn't a static set of facts, but a living conversation with the cosmos. Every anomaly, every paradox is a chance to lean closer and ask better questions. So what's next? The answers might already be hiding in plain sight, encoded in radio static, buried in lunar soil, or vibrating in the space between atoms. Maybe the key to unlocking them isn't just better technology, but a shift in perspective. After all, Copernicus didn't invent new stars to prove Earth wasn't the center of the universe. He just dared to see the same sky differently. The stars have always been more than distant suns. They're mirrors reflecting back our curiosity, our fears, and our hunger for connection. Whether these mysteries are cosmic coincidences or deliberate clues, one thing's certain: the universe is far weirder, wilder, and more wonderful than we've been taught. So keep looking up, keep questioning, and most of all, keep wondering. The greatest discoveries aren't just about finding answers, they're about learning to ask the right questions. Now it's your turn. Which of these conspiracies keeps you up at night? Drop your thoughts below, hit subscribe, and let's keep unraveling the universe's secrets one mystery